Hi, I'm Inflammable, and I'm doing this video because it's been a year since I first started my first fan fiction ever called ICU, which is on AO3. Um, I'm going to keep this video really specific just to this fic, okay? I'm going to not go on tangents. I'm not going to talk about anything else. It's purely just to reminisce about this crazy thing that I did a year ago. So I wrote 45 chapters in about 6 weeks. And this is a little overview of some of the little things that I remember from the fic. So I finished it in August last year. I hadn't bothered to read anything about that fic until about 3 days ago when I realised it had been a year, or almost a year. So I decided, hey, I'm going to sit down and read my old work. I was actually super embarrassed about it. I thought it'll be terrible. My writing's changed since then. Um what a what an awful story. I don't think I did a very good job. And I think it's really easy to think like that when it's out of sight, out of mind, and you know that you've changed in a skill that you're developing. So it was actually a lot of fun to read it again. I laughed. Um, I just really enjoyed it. So I wanted to do this just to share some of the things that I remember. So we can see here the camera. So there was a few cameras in that story. We can see Thomas's car before it got totaled. Some of an example of the scrubs that Tweak wore as a nurse. We can see a broken vase. I'll get into that later. The guinea pigs. There was 2 guinea pigs, wasn't there? Tequila sunrise. That was what Tweak was drinking in the story. Um, and that was just a little funny cartoon in the corner about ICU, like I see you, but it's an ICU ward. So the whole premise of the story was that, Craig's dad Thomas got into a severe car accident. Kenny, the paramedic, picked him up, took him to hospital. And then we've got Craig and the family that have come in to obviously support the family. And guess who's working in the intensive care unit? Tweak, Dr. Damien Thorne, and Heidi is another nurse that works there as well. So Craig and Tweak knew each other from when they were kids. Tweak suddenly disappeared one day, and now they're in their 20s and they've reunited in this setting. So we have Tweak, that was the mother hen. That's why there's a picture of his hen form from one of my other fics. I'm not going on a tangent. Um, and he rents an apartment with Stan and Kyle. So he's trying to keep these guys in line throughout the story. They're obviously not very house trained. They do very silly things. And these are some of the things that I reminisced on. So the dishwasher, the pasta incident, there was some laundry problems, the fish. Oh, fuck. Oh my god, I loved the fish. I might have been the only person that actually thought the fish side story was funny. And I'm not going to spoil it for anyone that hasn't read it and that might actually want to one day. But I found how it came together at the end in the last chapter quite funny. And then Kenny coming over to do drinking games and all these things with Stan and Kyle and driving Tweak insane. That was quite funny. Um, Shout out to Tweak's outfit. So in the fic, he sews his own scrubs and he has all these different patterns. So I tried to find all these different examples of what he was wearing. And of course, their night out for Halloween was a big part of the story, and that's just a little nod to his costume, which I think I put it back on another slide somewhere of how I imagined it. There was lots of broken things in this story. Actually, I was surprised when I reread it the other day that there was more than one broken vase. Like, I'd totally forgotten. I couldn't remember what was in the mug, but I reminded myself of that. There was definitely broken hearts. And the fish filter incident. I couldn't find a fish filter, so I just found a random. I accidentally broke my fish. Um, I'm sure if Tweak wasn't involved, then Stan probably would have broke the fish. But anyway, um, this is just a little thing to talk about the bar that was in the fic. So there was more than one event there. Um, it was fun reminiscing about the bar owner and how they played a part in the story. And it was really interesting reading how I wrote how that was revealed and came together towards the end of the story. And his dialogue, I thought, did I really come up with that? Oh, okay. But I did. So it was nice because I got to sort of fall in love with that character again. I'm not going to spoil it. Uh, and then this was their night out where there was an incident. Again, I'm not going to talk about it, but this is kind of how I imagined the bar lighting, to be honest. I was just chucking images into Google and I went, oh, yeah, no, that's how I pictured it, actually. Yeah. The tweak sass. I laughed and laughed. Um, Only because I'm laughing at myself. But it was so much fun, just like, hey, did you get my note? Did you get my reply? Um, I think the tweak Damien sass was the funniest to me. Like, just that Damien's trying to be a sleazy bastard and be a bit smart with Tweak, and Tweak's just like, not having it. And Damien thought it was like deep down he loved it. He copped a few other people copped a serve, so of course even Craig copped a serve, like, um you know what does it say here? Yeah, but they generally don't fucking cuddle Craig. um and then are you a good witch or a bad witch? Tweak took a sip of his cocktail. Depends on how if you keep talking to me or not. So yeah, I love him. He did good. And this guy, the amount of comments I got on this guy. Um, I'm not going to share those comments. You can go and read those yourself. um, but this is just some of the lines that I picked out of the fic when I was reading that I went, oh yeah, this is really all the elements of Damien that came together. Um, and we saw him change throughout the fic. I'm not going to use more of a descriptive word than that because it's a spoiler. Um, but you can see some of these things here where he was getting quite smart with Tweak, calling Craig pretty boy. I can't even, when I'm doing it on this screen, the screen's a lot smaller, so I can't read the font. I might need glasses or something. Yeah, but you can see that. And I put a picture of the camera there, and I'm not explaining why the camera's there because, again, it's a spoiler. Um, but yeah, he was a pretty bad dude. I mean, um, there was a lot of engagement with this fic, mostly around the Damien part. And I think it was a really great story where Damien really stuck to me. And when I started writing other stories on AO3, I couldn't help but bring him back into the fic. And I gave some people PTSD. Like when I started Psycho Love, people were like, oh my God, Damien's in it, fuck, 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 fuck. But and he's still in my stuff to this day. So I guess you never know what kind of Damien you're going to get in my stories, though. Like it was just something that was born from this fic. So I think that's everything I wanted to reminisce about. And I updated the tags so there was a bit more transparency. I felt originally when I didn't do the tags, it was for the best so I didn't spoil anything. But then I sort of reflected and thought, no, I really should be transparent about what happens or what could be happening so that people don't get upset. I know I did upset people. I know someone threw their phone across the room. Thankfully, it didn't smash. I know someone screamed in the middle of the night and apparently woke their neighbors up. Um, there was emotion, and I'm proud that I finished this. And it's something to always look back on, that it was my first completed thing I did. So I hope that if you choose to read it, that you do enjoy it. But otherwise, it's fine. Thank you for listening, and see you later. Bye.